Let's go. What do you got?
Aside from Justin, anyone else banged up out there?
Nothing out of the ordinary, bumps and bruises and stuff like that. We're checking on some guys today and making sure everybody's okay, but nobody's really hitting the injury list.
Marquise Blair, okay, I saw he looked like he was up and around a little bit.
So far, he is. Yeah.
Well, do you know anything more about Justin? Is it in fact an ACL?
It is an ACL, yeah. Yeah, and he has to have the major repair.
Is that usually after swelling goes down or whatever, a few weeks from now?
I don't know those details, what they're doing. Usually that's how they do it.
How do you address the depth there going forward? Very well, I know, but what, do you need to add someone there because of Ethan being on IR right now?
Yeah, we have to address the depth. Yeah. So we're working at it.
I know Ethan's on IR, but do you have any idea of his progress and if he might be able to be back this year?
Yeah, he should have a chance to get back, but he through the situation he's in, it's a few weeks away now, and he's not coming back like next week. We have to wait out the time frame. He needs, I think, an 8-week period or something like that, which goes back a few. So he's still 4 or 5 weeks away.
Going back to Blair, just what did you see out of his game when you went back and watched it?
He's really active. Again, some really good hits. He's got a lot of the details to clean up, to just continue to get better. But he certainly is a ball player. You can see that.
Given the secondaries injuries and some of the inexperience, does that limit your ability to be aggressive with a game plan with them?
At times it could, yeah. But we don't. I don't feel like we're that far down. I mean, just there's. I don't know. I guess I'm looking at it because I'm in the battle of it. But at times it does, yeah. Because you just guys have to know what they're doing, and you can't do some special things that you might do, and that comes from years together. When Bradley is playing, we've done a lot of stuff with him. Moved him around a lot, done a lot of things. We can incorporate those more so. So in that regard, it does restrict you, just in that you don't have the guys available that have the background.
Do you see Trey practicing this week?
Yes. Yeah, he feels a lot better today, and I think he made the comment that if we were playing tonight, he could play. He thought he could get through it and have a chance. He's that much better. It's pretty optimistic, but he should be okay to work all week long and give himself a real chance to be back.
How did you feel Joey handled the game yesterday?
He did fine. As Joey does, he does things right. Made good calls, good direction. What he was doing up front. There's things that he needs to improve on, pass protection, but he did it all in all. Did a nice job. I thought that King did a nice job too in the role he played. He played a lot of plays yesterday and made it through it. Stayed in good position and all that. Tackled okay when he had his chances and looked okay.
Talked about Shaq a little bit on the radio this morning, just the game he had. What are you seeing out of him these last?
Yeah, we were all watching him. He just continues to be really productive. When you're over there on that side, on the right side for the offense, you're going to get the ball thrown at you, and he's seen plenty of targets, and he continues to play very aggressively, and technique-wise, he's really on it. His confidence is as high as it's been, I think, in any time in the last couple of years. He's ready for the tough matchups and all that, looking forward to it and all that.
Was Diggs close to being available?
We're going to take him through the week and see. He had a hamstring that he came to us with, and he had played with it. But we just feel, and we've uncovered that we needed to take care of him to get him back fully. And so he'll be running around this week, and he was very controlled last week, and we'll see how far he can go. I can't say that he's for sure back yet for this weekend.
How much sense, if any, could you get of how he absorbed your stuff last week?
Not much. I don't have much feel in that, but he's been a ball player that's done a lot of stuff, and it makes sense to him, and he verbalizes really well and communicates well. I don't think it's going to be any problem for him at all. I don't think that'll even be an issue. Particularly if he gets through one more week before he plays, he'll be in great shape. If it's this week, he's under it, but he'll do fine.
He said sense of where Ed Dixon is at this point?
He's going to go this week. We're bringing Ed back, and with the thought, give him a chance to practice with the chance to play. So we've worked him really hard leading up to this time, through his rehab and all, where he's been preparing for the workload, and we're very optimistic, that he could, if he can make it through the week. We got to see how he handles the workload. We don't know about that yet, of course, but his mindset is on playing.
8 games in. You touched on this a little bit last night, but when you just look at the overall first half of the season, where your team's at and how you feel about it going forward.
Yeah, John, I think we're in solid shape of kind of being aware of what we're capable of doing and how we can play. In the basic area, special teams is firing pretty well for us. Looking for some help still in return game. We haven't had very many chances in returns. The running game seems pretty consistent with the ability to take it up another notch, I think. The protection stuff is doing all right. We're able to move the quarterback around, do a lot of things with Russ. Defensively, we're playing good up front in the running game, and we're staying on top, not giving up touchdown passes and all that. We need to be trying to get more aggressive and more of a factor on the intermediate stuff. And that will come from our combination of ways to put pressure on the quarterback. We have to get that going. That's probably the biggest area that we would like to improve and see if we can continue to grow there. Again, if you look at JD's stuff, he's been active and been a part of a lot of the pressure. His numbers are good for what he's had in his past, so we're pleased that he's moving in the right direction. I'm hoping that Jay Reed comes back and continues to just get comfortable and get rolling. We need him to be active and be a part. And as Ziggy gets back, Ziggy did not practice last week, to speak of, and he played the game and did fine. He'll be better this week, so we're just hoping that we can just get better in some small areas. But that's just those guys, just their individual rushing. We need to combine our efforts with our pressures and things and be more. I'd like us to hit more. We've been doing a lot of stuff. We need to be cleaner and execute better there to up our percentage and stuff. So that's all that stuff we're working on.
When you look at the defensive performance yesterday, I think over 10 explosive plays, as you guys would categorize it. How did you kind of see the effort, particularly in the second half, and what wasn't?
Yeah, we were kind of it was like a 2-minute drill for most of the half, and the guys were dinking the ball around to move it, which teams don't do that often. And as you notice, you can move the football and you put up a lot of numbers, but if you're not getting in the end zone, you're doing okay. It's 24-0 at halftime, so they came out and ran the ball a little bit and then threw the ball the rest of the half, and wound up throwing for a ton of yards. I'm not, as long as we're making our stops and we're getting off the field and we're finding our way out of there, that can happen some, So we don't like it, we like it to be less and like to get off the field better, They were good enough on first and second down where they didn't have but 9 third downs in the game, We need more third downs in the game. We got to get them to where we have a chance to stop them. We're a pretty good third down team, defensively. We're doing a nice job there. And again, I think we were 3 out of 9 yesterday. We need to get them in those situations a little bit more by the early down stuff they're throwing.
What did you think of Michael's interception? I don't think we asked you about that yesterday.
That was a fantastic play. Yeah, it was a great drop, great read on the play. It was a run-pass option play, and he had to see it and get in the throwing lane and made a marvelous catch. So it was a great play.
That was in a situation where I think a lot of teams would be in nickel because Falcons had 3 receivers on the field. How do you feel like that's going for you guys, the amount of base that you're
It's statistically, we're ahead of where we've been, and we've been checking it really carefully because just for obvious reasons, because we're departing a little bit from the norm. So I want to make sure that we're doing it right, and there's a lot of positives that are coming from it. So what I'd like to do is just be able to hit them a little bit more, make it hard on the offense, with our rushes, but. Running game is really intact like we had hoped, and the numbers are comparable to where they've been in the past in the throwing game. So I'm basically talking early downs, and so I'm giving you a lot of stuff today.
Is this the schedule of base you planned on? You said you're more than in the past, but going into the season, is this the rate you thought you'd be using it?
Start that again. I'm not sure what schedule you're talking about.
Well, you said you're using base, your numbers are way ahead of the previous years, but is it on par with what you expected to use those 3 linebackers?
Well, yeah, the last time we did this was quite a while ago. It was back in San Francisco, and when we went this hard in committing this way, and So I'm comparing it to what we would have done in the last couple of years when we weren't in base, and so that's really what I'm looking at. And there's some favorable numbers in there supporting it. But as far as predicting that it was going to be, I don't know. Yeah, I want to do really well. I want to kick butt in it, but we'll do better when everything fits together.
I guess more clearly I should ask, are you using it more than you thought you would?
No, this is what I intended if it was working out, and so I don't know. You take the answer any way you want. I don't know.
A few times, Pete, you guys have dropped your defensive linemen into pass coverage. How's that work? How's that look for you guys?
Well, we don't do it very often. It's just a mixture thing. It's a disguise thing. It's just part of the package. Everybody does it at some time. That's about all I'll say about that.
Bradley's fully back. Will he start again?
We'll see how he does this week. He's way better. I would like to get back to where we can mix our guys and do some things that we've been doing in the past. Marquise is going to play some more. He deserves to play. He's doing good. We need Bradley back out there too. So, Bradley's always been so flexible. He does so many things. He really helps us, and so I'd like to get us involved in some good ways.
What have you liked about Marquise's play the most?
I feel like I'm talking a lot of football today. No ankles or hamstrings. Go.
What have you liked the most about what you've seen out of Marquise's play?
He's physical. He's really decisive and goes after it, and has made numbers of big hits already. He's working hard at being clean at it and doing a nice job, keeping his head out of there and all that, but he's going after guys.
Pete, historically, your teams have done well in the second half of the season, November, December. What do you think has been the key to that, and why do you think this team can,
Kind of counting on that, That's why we get to this point, and we're in position to be close enough to be in the hunt, kind of, and counting on finishing really strong. What I honestly don't know exactly why that happens, but it's happened in SC too, and so something's happening, something's going on. What I do attribute it to is the commitment to young guys and playing guys early, and counting on them to be a part of the game plans early in the season, so they develop early and quickly. And by the time you get to the midway point, they should be really, elevating to feels like normal, regular status of experienced players. If you look at the last couple of weeks of our special teams and how those guys are really stepping to a whole nother level of tempo and speed and aggressiveness, you can feel it. You can feel the guys, they're more comfortable now. So as we head into the second half, so we want to get this win and then let's get going and kick into the mode of utilizing those guys more so. They make you deeper. They like you saw yesterday, you saw us playing some younger guys, and it gives other guys a break and can keep the whole team fresher because you don't have to burden the guys as much. You can maintain our rotations and all that. I don't know that that's exactly what happens, but I know that's a part of the factor, as opposed to not playing guys early on when people think they're not quite ready. They never can. Often it's hard to get them into the regular mode where you can rotate them in and you feel fine about them playing the starters. So, I don't know. That's the same mentality we've had for a long time, and committing to young guys, and that's seemingly been a factor.
When you look at
If you guys figure it out, let me know, okay?
When you do look at the pass rush, and now that the whole group is together and has at least played one game together, what do you see out of that group? Where is it not quite there yet? Is it just the chemistry of the mix of it? Is it
the consistency? It's like taking good cuts at the plate. You get your best shot. When you have the opportunities, you take good swings. Sometimes we're connected, and sometimes we're not as clean as we could be. We're not taking full advantage of the calls that we have as much as we would like. So that has to do with just being connected, communicating within the players, but also using the calls that come from the sidelines and maximizing them. And so we should just get better quality swings at it, and that'll up our chances.
How's Quentin doing? Quentin Jefferson?
He's better. We're going to have to see how he goes through the week here. We're still working on that oblique thing that he had. So they can't predict yet what's going to happen. So he'll go light on Wednesday, and then we'll see how he does in the latter part of the week.
How was Dwayne today?
Good. Yeah, he made it through. He was doing pull-ups. Can you imagine that? Think about that body doing pull-ups.
How many did he do?
I don't know. I wasn't there to count them. I just heard about it. Marveled.
Are you potty during the game? Why'd you mark it?
His knee was a little sore, and so we rested him a little bit, and he went back.
Do you think Tedrick Thompson has to pick up his play in the second half?
He played well yesterday. Did a nice job. It's competitive. It's competitive. We got guys who want to play, and the guys that are capable of playing. I'd like to see them all get better.
What did you think? Cody Martin played at least a series for you guys in there. How do you think he handled
He had some funky plays. I felt bad for him. He had some plays that were kind of a little bit off tempo and stuff. He didn't really get to dig in, but he had, he did fine. We really rely on him to do the things right. He still got to see some things for the first time. He saw a couple funky plays with, throwback corner out, and he saw kind of a big flip play to him with a guy right in his mug blocking him, so he had to deal with that. They weren't really regular plays, so he didn't get as much rhythm as we would like. But he was really active on special teams again, and we'd like to keep playing him. Like to keep him going and getting some reps.
Was that just a rest series for KJ?
Yeah.
with Rashad? How do you feel he handled bouncing back from the hamstring?
He looked great. I thought he hit the line of scrimmage hard and was very productive. I thought he looked really good. He looked really fast.
How hectic do you think the next 22 hours might be for you in particular?
I don't think it's gonna entertain me as much as I would like. It seems kind of quiet. As much as we've worked to get to this point to understand what's available, what's going on, people that are talking and all that, and we're, like we say, we're always in on it, and I'm kind of hoping things start picking up a little bit, just for fun.
Anything else? Has the trade market changed since you were coach, Pete? Does it seem like teams are more willing to deal in the last 5 years than when you first?
Yes, it does seem like that, but it doesn't seem like that today.
Do you know why that might be? What teams are more willing to?
No, I've heard a couple. I think it was Bill Polian made a comment about there's different era of a younger kind of administration guys, and back in the day where guys were kind of typically didn't want to make moves and they were more hesitant to share their information and stuff like that. And some guys are more open now, and so there's more opportunities. Things are going faster. Guys are rolling through the programs faster. There's more changes, not as much stability as it used to be, and I think that kind of adds to the urgency. Guys got to feel like they got to do something now, make something happen. So we're okay. I feel like we can kind of fit into both, whatever realms. Okay.
Thank you.